So Marvel released the teaser trailer for Wakanda Forever, and for me, it looked like it was a funeral. Like it was a funeral for Chadwick. You know, like it was a funeral for the actor. It seemed like in this film. And there's a movement going on now. There's a movement going on now that he should have, that it should have been recast. Black Panther should have been recast. And we've talked about that a lot here together on the Dark Council. And now the movement seems to be growing. You know, it's like this is what he would want, things like that. So where do you guys stand on all that? You guys saw the trailer. Where do we stand on that?
I thought I thought it was beautifully shot.
Absolutely.
I did too, Abu.
But it did hit the feels for me, you know, because obviously everybody loved him in the cast. And it showed, you know. At the same time, we didn't get much outside of, you know, I guess a real plot or something to that effect. But it does leave a hole knowing that, you know, the main character is not in the movie. So who's gonna, you know, who's going to take the weight? You know, Shuri, the mom, you know, the head guard, I can't even pronounce her name.
I know you're talking about
Lupita.
Yeah,
okay,
okay, yeah, you know, and she's been like side by side with Black Panther in the first movie. So who's gonna take the top spot? Now my money was on Shuri, you know, but since they teased the Black Panther, you know, at the very end, now we're saying to ourselves, well, who could be in it? Now, again, I'm thinking maybe they're gonna give Shuri the thing until they find somebody else. I would hate that it would have to be, you know, not trying to be sexist or anything, but to have her do it, and knowing that this movement of recasting T'Challa is important. And at first, and Mark, you know, gave me another, you know, a way of looking at it, because I really love Chadwick Boseman in that role. I didn't think that, you know, at the time that nobody could take his place. And I was just speaking of the man and how his portrayal affected me as I watched the movie. But Mark was right. We still need a particular hero like Black Panther to be seen, you know. So our young boys, you know, regardless of what color they are, our young boys can look at somebody that's forthright, you know, noble, you know, upright, and always on the side of good, just like Captain America and Superman. And
and not just black boys have to like T'Challa. It could be white boys,
right? That's
Asian
what I'm saying.
boys.
It's like you could see another hero if he got beautiful brown cocoa skin. That's fine, but he's still saying the things that all our heroes would be saying, you know. So why can't we have? That's how Mark put it to me, and I was like, he's right.
You know, right. Mark said it first. And
he did say it first. He said it way before this thing got trending. So Mark should be credited as the man that got this thing started.
But we're not saying recast Chadwick Boseman.
Right.
We're saying recast T'Challa, because when you think Spider-Man, you think Peter Parker. When you think Black Panther, you think T'Challa. Now, I know they want to go by the comic books and say Shuri, but to be honest, I know T'Challa's probably not going to be in this movie. Another actor played T'Challa. But I don't even want it to be Shuri. It makes more sense if the soldier woman has the Black Panther mantle. What was her name? Okoye?
Yeah.
Okoye? Because Shuri doesn't have that fighter. She's not trained as a fighter. She's just a brilliant person.
Well, she was kicking. Well, she was kicking ass in
the last movie
in Infinity War when they tried to jump in there because Vision was on the table and she did her little you know, martial arts thing. So I thought, oh, okay, so she got some skills on her too, you know.
But what I'm saying is, you don't kill T'Challa because the real actor died. Because T'Challa is a character that's been a character way before Chadwick Boseman was even born.
Yeah.
Well, if Tom, I'm sorry, Lorraine. I was saying if Tom Holland was killed tragically, they wouldn't do a funeral for Spider-Man.
Exactly.
Exactly. Lorena, go ahead, speak on it. Sorry about that.
That's okay. It's kind of like what I said in my video when I reviewed the trailer. It's like it hit all the feels of this loss of T'Challa being gone. And while I thought I would like the trailer, in a way I didn't, because T'Challa needs to be recast. And I'm going to kind of tell a little story here. About I want to say maybe 3 years ago.
Can you blow us up before? Can you blow us up then?
Oh, like take out the article?
Yeah, since you're going to tell a story.
Oh, okay.
They want to see your pretty face.
I didn't know so.
I know I do.
For saying it. No, like when I think the year Black Panther came out, and of course at the Y they have like trunk or treat, so you have your trunk decorated, got all the candy, and the kids come by with all the costumes and stuff on and all that. Second most popular costume was Darth Vader. The first most popular costume was Black Panther. You had black kids dressed up as Black Panther, white kids dressed up as Black Panther, Latino kids dressed up as Black Panther. They just wanted to be Black Panther. And yes, I know it's great. He's a role model for all the kids, but we're going to talk about Black people right now. Okay. That is so important, especially to young Black men and young Black boys, to see a character like T'Challa, someone who is a force for good, someone who is a protector of his people, someone who cares about something bigger than himself. That's extremely important. And that's something that resonated with so many kids that it was just beautiful to see, to absolutely see that. And to tell me that now you're not going to recast T'Challa, but we kind of like in this thing where we don't know, who it is. And of course, we're talking about make Shuri as Black Panther. I know in this trailer, I saw a lot of women. The Queen, I understand. Shuri, I understand. But this was very, very heavily feminine of a trailer.
Yes, it was.
And that tells me something, that is where you are going with this. Even Riri Williams, why the heck she is in this, aka Ironheart, she's in it too. So I just didn't.
And why they didn't focus on the boy Martin Freeman? He was a big character. Why they didn't focus on him? You notice he wasn't really in the trailer.
He was there one time, right? You saw him one time in the trailer.
It was fast because I can't even remember him being in the
looking like Daniel Craig.
It was very quick. It was very quick because
you could tell this was female centric.
Yes,
very female centric.
That was very obvious.
Like it was kind of focused on the same characters from the original, though. Like it didn't. Well, to me at least, it didn't feel like they, that it was out of the ordinary to have the General, Shuri, the Queen, right? And then what was his love interest's name? What's her name?
Oh, Lupita?
Yeah, what's Lupita's name?
That's the actress.
Was it Nakia in the movie?
Well, her, she's in it too. So like they were prominent figures in that first one.
Yeah, that's true.
They were very strong supporting characters.
Yeah,
that's true too.
And it was a very strong ensemble. But you just took away the focus of that movie. And I'm tired of seeing broken Black families. You're gonna show me a funeral, in that trailer, like the kingdom is broken. T'Challa is not there, and somehow everybody is just gonna be okay with the fact that the last time he was on screen, he was alive. The country was strong. They were thriving. Now, for no good reason, no real reason, he's not gonna be there anymore. I told the story in my video where, I was watching the first Black Panther movie, and I remember, my son at the time tugging on my shirt. Dad, after the movie, can we go get the action figure? We went straight from the movie theater, and we got that Black Panther action figure. There were kids who need this. There are people who are saying, oh, we'll just wait a few years and we'll pick it up again. Do you not understand the condition of so many of these kids in these hoods? You know, they covered the story when that movie came out. You saw kids dancing on top of desks. You know, they were dancing in the street. This meant everything to them. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to be cool with the fact that you're going to give them yet another broken family, another broken black family, another broken kingdom. You know what I mean? Why are we cool with this? Now, of course, we can't change it now. The movie's already done. You know, I'm sure it's going to be just great. So I was saying in my videos, don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the movie won't have any entertainment value. Of course it will. You know, just the same way as you see all of these broken families in the hood. Oh, are you saying that black women can't raise a good, strong black family? Of course they can, but they shouldn't have to. You know what I mean? So here you have the Black Panther, who is supposed to be a king, the king of Wakanda, and you make the choice to take him out. You know, it's bigger, and Chadwick understood this. It's bigger than the actor. It's about the legacy. It's about, yes, and his brother said the same thing. It's about the inspiration that you're bringing to these kids. But of course, nobody gives a damn about the kids. Just entertain me. It's going to be a great movie. Just wait and see. But what about these kids who needed that? You know, it's like when I go outside sometimes and, you know, I'm you know, calling my son in and everything, I see some of these kids, you know, some of these kids don't have fathers, and I see the way they're asking me questions. They're telling me about what they did on their report cards and stuff like that. I say to them, that's great. You should be proud of yourself. I'm proud of you. I'm watching you. Why are you outside so late? They need this, man. They need this. And we so frivolously just let them just change the whole story. Doesn't mean the movie won't be good, but they changed it from what it should be.
Remember at the end of Black Panther when he was talking to that young brother that was on that was in the basketball court? That shit hit me right here. He told him that you can aspire to greatness. You know, just keep believing in yourself. And that it has been so long since I watched a movie where a strong black man can look at the young brother and elevate him, you know? And I'm sitting up here with tears in my eye, man. Like, where was all of this for us? You know, even though, you know, my pops was around in my life, but he was in that gangster life. But I know whenever I saw my dad, it was a party. He was happy to see me. He hold me, this, whatever you want to do, let's do it. You know, he's here, back and forth. When he's gone, he's gone. But at the very least, to have somebody tell me that I can be something special and great and can be a great a contributor to, you know, to the building of our people. Right. I literally, and then the music behind it and whatnot. I was like, I'm done. I'm done.
Fellas, I want to ask y'all this. Did y'all feel like me walking out the theater in that movie with a good feeling? Like you just felt good?
I felt so, I felt so, like, for lack of a better word, I was so inspired.
Inspired.
Seeing the kids happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking around and their eyes is glued to Chadwick. You know? Glued. And I said, anyone who thinks this is okay, and you're right.
Anyone who thinks this is okay has never driven through the hood, who's never walked through the hood and seen the faces on these kids. No hope, man. No hope. Not even 5 years old, and they've lost hope in their life. Like God is dead. You know, these kids are begging without words for hope. You know what I mean? And what they got, even though it seems crazy for some people, because some people just judge it as a comic book movie. And I said that, you know, in my original review of the movie back then, I said there's two ways of looking at this. You judge it as the movie, and then you judge it as the phenomenon, what it actually means to people. Okay. To some people, this thing means everything. Just like you hear people talk about Star Wars, it changed my life. To some people, Black Panther changed their whole perspective. You know? So all I'm saying is Chadwick understood this. I remember when I saw him going on the circuit, you know, for publicity and all that stuff, and he would talk about how much he knew. This is the reason why he spent his dying years trying to do this, and other roles too. You know, he put himself into everything that he did. You know what I mean? But he knew what this meant for these kids. He knew the legacy he was going to be leaving. And you can't tell me that a man like that believed that it should be over with him. Like that's no understanding of manhood. Every man that's on this panel knows that you want what you believe in to survive you. You know, if you have a son, a daughter, you know, friends, you want them to understand you, to carry on what your belief was, to bear witness to what meant the most for you, you know? So to turn right back around and kill that, that's not honoring Chadwick Boseman. It can be a great movie. Please don't get it twisted. It can be a great movie. But I'm just saying, don't overlook those kids that I've seen. You know, even if you haven't seen them, I'm telling you, there are kids out there that this meant everything to. And they expect to see, they expect more of that. You know, they expect more of that. They don't expect Wakanda forever. They expect to see more Black Panther. They expect to see more inspiration of a king, of a people working together, men, women, husbands, wives, fathers, you know, a respect for tradition. That's everything that it stood for.
That's another thing, that tradition.
Yes,
bro. But so you hit on Mark real quick. Mark hit on something. It's a rare thing to look on TV now and see Black families and males and females of the Black race coming together in unity. That movie was, it showed that Wakanda was together. Wakanda was so tight. They was actually against the world. They didn't want the world to know about Wakanda. That's how strong their unity was. And Black people never, we don't see stuff like that no more. The Cosby Show, Martin, Different World, that stuff is gone. We don't see that stuff no more.
And how important is that? Remember when Different World was on, what happened? College enrollment went way through the roof with Black kids just because of that show. You know what I mean? So that's how important it is to see some certain things on screen.
Yeah.
You guys hit the nail on the head. Black Panther T'Challa has been around since 1966.
Yeah,
that's 10 years. That's 10 years before Chadwick was born.
And fun fact, Black Panther was created by Stan Lee.
Introduced in the Fantastic Four comic book.
You can't. God must have put his hands on Stan Lee to do that.
Yeah.
To create this character. So we can't even come out and say this is our character.
He didn't even finish. Let you cut D off. Oh, D was going into a whole thing.
My bad.
I was gonna say that was 10 years before he was born, and you know, aside from what we've been saying, what you guys have been saying is 100% true. I'm just gonna take it aside and just go as far as the actual story elements of it. Because I brought this up in my video. So T'Challa's supposed to marry Storm. That's supposed to happen.
Really?
Yeah,
that's supposed to be his
That's
queen.
A big thing in Marvel.
That's
when they got
very,
married.
very big. So you just killed off T'Challa, and you're getting the X-Men in what 2025, something like that. So something, and everything. I'm not discounting anything you guys saying. That's 100% true what y'all saying. But I'm talking about as far as the lore goes, because remember, this is supposed to be bigger than Chadwick, right? The lore of T'Challa is that he is the king of his kingdom, and you got to remember he's only been in 4 movies.
That's it.
You got Captain America: Civil War. You had the Black Panther movie proper. You had Infinity War and Endgame. That's it. That's only 4. And so really he only had 1 movie of his own. Everything else was just like an Avenger movie, basically. So technically, T'Challa's only been in 1 movie. That's it. And you're taking that away. You're taking it away. Just like that. And again, like you guys were saying, it did feel like a funeral because of the fact that they are, and it sucks to say, they are, which some people have been criticizing for it, they are marketing his death as part of the marketing process.
Absolutely.
And that's terrible. That's terrible. You could have just as easy did a memoriam to him in the beginning of that movie and the end of the movie. You could have did that, but you also could have recasted, because they have recasted for less reasons, aka Rhodey. Everybody's been talking about that. They recasted Rhodey. They recasted the Hulk. It can be done. They did it for monetary reasons before. This is an important reason to.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking about that Rhodey put y'all put on Twitter when they had Terrence Howard
Yeah.
I'm still pissed about that.
And they didn't even put somebody who looked like Terrence Howard. They got
I know. Don't even look like him.
I know this doesn't mean nothing, but remember in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when they recast?
And
then that first episode, Will Smith just looked at her like, and then that was it. And then it was the new amphibian.
Hey, you know, for anybody who used to watch soap operas back in the day, what they used to do whenever there was a new character playing an old character, the role of so-and-so will be played by so-and-so, and it would be a whole new person. I don't care how long that actor or actress was there.
Correct.
You know, they would just put them right in. You know, so for everybody who's saying, oh, it would be too much of a shock on the senses, come on, it's like, don't insult the audience. You know what I mean? It's like, we know what it was. You know, we know what happened, tragically what happened. All right. But if you get the right actor in there with the right commitment to writing, the right story, you absolutely could do it. And to me, it's insulting because the implication is that there's no talented black actor out there who could actually make this thing work, which I feel is bullshit. I feel like we have enough passion. We have enough talent in this community where we absolutely could do it. You know, you give them the right material to work with and the right commitment, like what they claim they have now, then yeah, they could pull it off. Absolutely.
And Thomas, right, you're correct. And that's the one thing I always say, especially when we're talking about comic books, right? Because the comic books, and which that is the medium that is coming from. In comic books, Bruce Wayne could be Bruce Wayne for 50 years and it won't change because you could keep him the same but we have a bit of an issue. It's nice to have live action, but the issue is a human being can't be that character forever. So we understand that. So I always say, this is what I say, and I know it's very controversial, but I say, look, especially even right now when it comes to all these comic book stuff that we're doing now, because you have to change the mantles, even though Black Panther is the only real one that is an actual mantle, but you could always do the James Bond method. And the James Bond method is you change the actor, it's still James Bond. That's supposed to happen. That's what when it comes to comic books, that's what you should be doing, because
that's what Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, they all went through a lot of actors.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. So that should be the rules.
The question is
regardless.
why then?
Wait a minute. Yahoo News is saying, is it really about honoring Chadwick Boseman?
Yeah, I wanted to throw this article up there because
can I just do the same thing for Callis that he did for Demajanai, because Callis was just about to make a point before we move on.
Yes, please do.
No, I was just asking, the question is truly, why is this happening? Why are they choosing to sort of bury T'Challa with Chadwick? Pardon that. I mean, I'm sorry how rough that comes out, but instead of recasting him, that's the question. That's the question that we have to be asking right now, because it doesn't make sense. In all honesty, it does not make sense for any other role. And even when you go from when you have the cinematic character, when they move that character to a TV role, they always change who the actor is, right? Because they're on cinematic, they're not going to move and play a regular TV role. So you've had, Superman, for example, on screen versus Superman on your regular TV shows. It's a different actor entirely. However, it's still Superman, and we respect each actor as they play those two roles as the same. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
Candace, watch this. Captain Chris Evans started off as Johnny Storm,
Human Torch.
Johnny Storm's the Human Torch. And then a few years later, he was Captain America.
I will say
really?
This. I will say this.
Yeah, he was.
Those two Fantastic Four movies is pretty good to me.
Yeah.
And dare I say it, he was real funny. Chris Evans?
No, he was great. He was great.
He was hilarious as Johnny.
But I was proving the point to say recasting is nothing. They act like it's impossible to recast.
Do it all the time.
You know what?
What is the reason now?
Yeah.
Because there's a couple of things, and I think a couple of people said it in the chat here.
In the chat?
Is that they were probably going to try to spotlight Shuri anyway, and this is a perfect way to have 2 for 1. If you can exploit Chadwick's death and also do what they want to do as far as pushing the female thing that they've been doing with Marvel. I'm sorry they have, so they were going in that direction. But I just wanted to point out, Bandersnatch went in the chat here. who said the very reason they aren't doing that is because of the impact Chadwick had on the role. I doubt there are many actors who would pick that role up. Respectfully, I disagree. I think that there are actors who do understand the impact of that role, who would love a chance to carry that. You know, when any kingdom falls, somebody rushes to pick up the flag. Otherwise, the whole kingdom is gone. You know, I think a lot of people believe in what Chadwick was trying to do. And I believe that there are plenty of capable, passionate, talented Black male actors who would be able to pick this up and do justice. Maybe even, I dare say, do even better. You know, can we dream? Can we dream? Can we believe in ourselves? That's all I'm asking. You know?
Shit, I'll do it.
All right.
Hey.
I would
probably
sure do it.
You probably rock that shit, bro. This is what I'm talking about. You know? Come on, like believe in ourselves.
Think of like the likes like say John David Washington.
I have seen Black Panther. I have seen Black Panther probably 20 times because that movie inspired me. We Black people, and not just Black people, I'm not gonna just put that out there, but I'm just saying it's a lot of people out there that need to see the king, the true King T'Challa on that throne in future MCU movies. Exactly. Now, I'm gonna play the advocate real quick though, because I feel like when this movie come out in November, my box office prediction is this movie is gonna do $1 billion because people is gonna see this movie out of curiosity. How they're going to pull this off. When this movie hit $1 billion, I think Marvel is going to feel themselves and we might not get another T'Challa. What you guys think?
Fatal Domus has spoken. I agree with you. You know, I think it's become something completely different. You know, so in its new version, it will be a success because they're going to market it as, you know, Black female empowerment, number one. You know, I mean, let's just say it. I mean, that's just what it's going to be. And there's going to be no denying because the talent is there. You know, I mean, come on, Angela Bassett, you know, Denai Guerrera, Lupita Nyong'o, all of these people, the director, Ryan Coogler, all these people are talented. So there's no way I think this thing is just going to flat out suck. I think there'll be an audience for it. My point is just, it's not what it's supposed to be. It's not being true to the character. You know, Chadwick Boseman thought that he was going to recover. You know, he thought that he was going to be able to play in Black Panther 2. He thought that T'Challa was going to be in Black Panther 2. So he had a whole different vision of what this thing was going to be than what it's actually going to turn out to be. So that's my only point. It's just going to be completely different.
Well, that's why I brought up this article, because when I saw it, I'm like, what do you mean? Is it really about honoring Chadwick Boseman? And further on in this article, what they allude to is that it's not about honoring Chadwick Boseman. It's an opportunity for people to be misogynistic because we don't like the focus on the women in the trailer.
There you go.
So what do you gentlemen say to that accusation?
That's absolutely ridiculous. I think it's like what Mark said. I think that what would have been maybe a different idea if they needed to go back and sort of regroup is to have Wakanda Forever be the movie that it's going to be without them actually sort of portraying T'Challa or T'Challa's death, and perhaps let them work out how we can bring T'Challa back in Black Panther 2 following Wakanda Forever. Let Wakanda Forever tell the story that it wants to tell without telling us that T'Challa is dead, so that T'Challa's legacy can live on in Black Panther 2.
Heck yeah.
And so you can have those, they're not exclusive. You know what I mean? Like you can have those two happening at the same time, because I would love to see a story about Shuri and maybe something, maybe T'Challa was something happened and he's on Octu. Lord.
What is this man talking about?
We got a crossover.
I'm just joking.
We got a crossover.
I'm just saying that maybe T'Challa is someplace they can't find him, so she thinks he's dead. But when
that Callus,
what's that?
Real quick, I didn't mean to cut you out, but you actually hit a MCU point. I was telling everybody they could really pimp this out with a genius idea. Remember in Endgame, T'Challa died, remember?
Yeah.
They could have put this story during the blip. The MCU got a thing called the blip.
I was just thinking that. I swear to you, I was just thinking
the blip lasted for years. Okay. You could have put Wakanda Forever 5 years. You're right.
Yeah.
They could have. This movie should start when T'Challa died in Endgame. Then you can bring T'Challa back by the end of the movie. But I know Marvel is not smart like that, though.
You mean
if only they had done that, bro.
Infinity Wars, not Endgame.
I mean Infinity Wars. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry. But he died. Black Panther died 2 times within the MCU. He died in his own movie and he died in Infinity Wars. It's too many times. I don't want to focus on his death no more. I don't want to focus on it.
Right. Like I said before, just another broken family, another funeral. Like we don't see enough of that in the hood. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that I was thinking that too, Fatal. That would have been a perfect opportunity for them. Your movie is set right there in that time frame during the blip. You know, that would have been it. I wouldn't have had anything to say. It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Yep. So
you know what? This would be a perfect time to celebrate.
Good conversation, fellas.
This would be a perfect time to celebrate Chadwick, celebrate the work that he did on Black Panther, and this should be a time to celebrate what could be with the right actor in the role of T'Challa to carry on his legacy. You know, we should be celebrating, you know, how well and how impactful that this movie is, or this movie was, and hope that this movie coming up with as many things that we talked about that should be in there, I'm hoping that Ryan Coogler can knock it out the park in a way that gives us hope that there will be a T'Challa. You know, if they give it to Shuri for the short term, but you got to show us that there has to be a man to take the mantle.
Agreed.
I agree. That's what I said in my video.
And I told the story too about, you know, when I went, I took my son to see Marvel Universe Live. You know, if anybody remembers that, you know, they had a little traveling show. It was all of the MCU on stage. And I remember every character came out, every character got applause. When Black Panther came out, that place erupted. That was shortly after the movie, you know, and obviously it was a stage show. It wasn't Chadwick Boseman in the costume. You know, it was a different actor, but kids, all different types of kids from all different walks of life, everybody, they blew the roof off that place cheering for Black Panther. You know, because they just loved the character. They loved the way the character was portrayed in the movie and everything. And absolutely, you can keep that going. Like I said, in the stage show, he never took off the mask. You know, so, I mean, to me, it's not that hard to figure out. You know, it's just commit to it. Commit to it, and it can work. Yep. But, you know, to me, they took the lazy way, man. And yes, they are exploiting. I feel in that trailer. I feel like they're exploiting the situation.
They are.
Yeah.
They want to pull on your heartstrings to make you see the movie.
They do. Like I said, when I saw this trailer, it's like I feel like I should feel something, and I do, but I don't trust Marvel, and I don't like that. I don't like that feeling. It's like I hope Ryan Coogler knocks this out of the park. But I'm just not hopeful. Not when you give me a trailer where you hit everything. But I don't
a proper trailer.
See. Yes, a proper trailer. Granted, this was a teaser, but judging just going by what we saw, it's like the soul is gone. Totally. So if that's what you're going to go for, but you're going to wind up bringing back Black Panther as a man, okay, I'm willing to go through this. But if you subvert it and you turn Black Panther into a woman, I'm not down with that.
Well, I mean, you saw the article I shared with you earlier, Raina, and it was the M'Baku actor. Yeah, Winston Duke is warning people. He literally says he's warning them not to expect Black Panther 1 this time. He said, you know, alter your expectations. You're not going to get Black Panther in this one. You're going to get something different. He said he had to tell himself the same thing. Kind of reminds me of what Mark Hamill said. You know, it's like, this is something different. You got to think of it different. So he's literally warning you that you're going to get something different. When what we got in the first one was exciting, inspirational, you know, and just it was great. But he's saying expect something different now. Alter your expectations, basically, is what he's saying. And what could that mean? I mean, we all know that Chadwick is not going to be in it, unfortunately. We know that Black Panther is not going to be T'Challa. So what other expectation could we have other than we expect to be entertained?
Yeah.
And I kind of want to bring up Trey Michaels' comment here, because I hadn't even thought about it this way. And notice after this, they changed Namor to Mayan Latino. So basically, it's Black versus Latinos, the movie honoring Chadwick's death.
I didn't even think about that.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I thought Namor was supposed to be Atlantean, not Mayan. I'm just saying.
Yeah, right?
Supposedly.
Yeah.
And Namor was supposed to be one of the first mutants, too. Well,
he was the first mutant. He was the first mutant.
Yeah, well, in the comics, yes. Chronologically, no. I think the first mutant is Selene. She's actually older than Apocalypse.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're checking boxes, and that's not to be disrespectful to Black people, not to be disrespectful to Latinos or anything. But Marvel, they're not in the business of truly celebrating diversity. They're in the business of exploiting diversity. Like, if you want to truly celebrate diversity, then you give them something that's meaty. You give them good roles. You give them memorable, legendary roles that actually serve the story so that they can transcend. You know, you can get actors that can do what Chadwick Boseman did, you know, like take it to the next level. But when you just throw people in there and just say, look, here you go, these people, here's something for you guys to come to the movie for. But you're not really selling something like a...
And 100%, Mark, you're right. They're just basically throwing that out there. And I'm at the point, I don't know about y'all, but I'm actually like, I had it up to here with that, because it's, aside from the fact that it's being condescending, right? You get these people out there who say, oh, well, I'm the first one to do this. No, you wasn't. I mean, we were just talking about The Last Dragon. The Last Dragon had so much diversity in it. It was not even, it was a joke. This is done in the 80s. Y'all not doing nothing new. Y'all not doing nothing new. And then you trying to act like you're doing I'm the first this and that. Like, no, you're not. No, you're not.
Because they were calling Black Panther the first Black hero movie. There's been plenty of Black hero movies before that.
Blade.
And Marvel. Yeah, right. You said it. Marvel for exactly is Blade. So let's put that to bed. Like, it just drives me. I don't know about y'all, but I'm just tired. I'm just tired of the whole. Whenever I hear that, like, I hate the. I know the word cringe is cringe at this point, but
somebody said steal. Somebody said steal.
Okay,
but that's true though.
They're not wrong. They're not wrong.
But
they're not. They're not.
Nope, they're not.
But it just whenever I hear those words, we hear diversity, inclusion, first,
Blank
this,
man.
that, blah blah blah.
I just say
Black man.
Black Man was fire though.
Blank Man was fire, bro.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I love
man.
that movie.
Shit. Handyman. Don't forget about Handyman. He was there.
Fucking Blank Man.
Oh,
Cootie Tang.
see, I wasn't gonna bring that up.
Y'all remember Meteor Man? Meteor Man.
Yeah,
Remember Meteor Man?
Meteor Man.
Yeah.
I remember him. I
Who
remember
brought up Handyman?
Yeah,
Dude,
never
Handyman-
underestimate the power of the
All
handicap.
right, hold on. No disrespect to crippled people, but Handyman flew in the air like this.
Shit, I gotta go.
And then,
I gotta go.
it wasn't me who did it. It was Wayne's brother. He was like, never fear, Handyman. And he was flying like this with his hand all.
That shit would never pop now.
But what was his motto? His motto was never underestimate the power of the handicap. You know what I mean?
That's
that was
true.
positive.
That's
that was
true.
positive. People don't understand.
But when he went to fly, it looked like he fell out the window.
Out the
He
way.
And then they
did.
show him like,
And then he flew. Did he have a sidekick that was a
Trump doing
midget?
the hands though
Little
perfectly.
woman.
What?
Remember that?
I wanted to be Handyman. I can't be Superman. I can't be anything. I can be
Handyman. Goggles. Handyman was the shit.
Somebody said Mantis. They took it back. Have y'all seen Mantis?
Ooh,
I remember
that's
Mantis.
a long way back, man.
That's a dope show, though.
That lasted for like 2 episodes, but it was dope. Yeah, I remember.
Dope. Oh, somebody said Hancock. I forgot about Hancock.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that movie. That
I did too. It could have it could have had a little bit better.
Had a weird
third
twist
act
at the end.
Yeah, the third act could have been better, but it was a good movie.
That's all right.
Well,
Jen, I don't know. Last thoughts before we get to Abu's next fire track.
Well, like I said, I just want to wrap it up.
It's going to be 2, but this one has to be played, especially in lieu of what we talked about.
Okay, Demogenite, please continue.
No, I was just going to say, to me, the bottom line is, I'm just tired of them using those words, and it's almost meaningless at this point because they're not doing it for the right reasons. That's all. When they talk about doing the diversity, inclusion, it's not for the right reasons. If you're doing it organically, you can have whoever you want to have in any movie, and it will work. If you're doing it organically and you're telling a proper story, you can do anything. You could have what do we call them? Rainbow Wand Nation. You could have whatever you want in a story as long as you're telling a story, and it will work. And before you move on, I just want to say one thing. The perfect way to do that is, like I said, with Castlevania. In Castlevania, they had Alucard was part of the Skittles, and they didn't lead with that. It just was in the show, and I was like, "Oh, okay," and they just kept it moving. That's how you do it.
Because it was a great story.
Yeah,
it was a great story. Yeah,
but that's all I have to say. Go ahead, kick it.